Now, Jai Shri Ram. Now, Canto 56. With his Brahmanical staff, alone, Vashishta renders ineffectual all the mystic missiles discharged by Vishwamitra, whereupon the latter condemns military strength and makes up his mind to practice austerities with a view to attain Brahmanhood. Aiming a missile presided over by the god of fire, when challenged as aforesaid by Vashishta, the very mighty Vishwamitra said, "Stay a while, wait a bit," steadily uplifting his Brahmanical staff, which looked like another rod of Yama. The almighty Vashishta angrily spoke as follows: "Here I stand, O unworthy Kshatriya. Pray, exhibit whatever you might possess. I shall crush your pride as well as the pride of your weapons today, O son of Gadi. Of what account is your martial strength when compared to the great power of a Brahman? Behold my divine Brahmanical power, O disgrace to Kshatriyas. That terrible and excellent missile, presided over by the god of fire and hurled by the celebrated son of Gadi, was neutralized by the Brahmanical staff of Vashishta, as the fury of a fire is counteracted by water. The enraged son of Gadi discharged a missile presided over by Varun, the god of water, as well as another presided by Rudra, the god of destruction, nay, a third presided over by Indra, the ruler of gods, and a fourth presided over by Shiv, the protector of Jiva, which has been likened to a beast because of its bondage, and also the one made of a reed. He then hurled, O scion of Raghu, at Vashishta, the foremost of ascetics, all the following missiles: the one presided over by Swambhu Manu, as also another possessing the virtue of stupefying the person aimed at, another presided over by Gandharvas, even so a missile inducing sleep, another that induces yawning, still another that inebriates a person against whom it is directed, as well as a couple of missiles that severely torment by heating and melt the object aimed at, still another that dries up by sucking its moisture, as well as a missile that rends the object aimed at, a missile presided over by Indra's thunderbolt, a missile which is so difficult to prevail against, a missile presided over by Brahma's noose, another presided over by the noose of Kal, the god of death, as well as a missile presided over by the noose of Varun, the missile known by the name of Pinaka, beloved to Lord Shiv, also the two kinds of Indra's thunderbolts, dry as well as wet, a missile presided over by Yam, the god of punishment, another presided over by Pisakas, fiends, as well as a missile presided over by Kronka, the name of a mountain. The missiles presided over by the discuses of Dharma, the god of virtue, Kal, the time spirit, as well as of Vishnu, as also a missile presided over by the wind god, another that kills by churning, and the one presided over by Lord Hayagriva, a manifestation of Lord Vishnu, credited with the head of a horse, the two kinds of javelins, the missiles known by the names of Kankala and Musala, the great missile presided over by Vidyadharas, heavenly artists, and then the terrible missile presided over by Kal, the god of death, nay, the fearful missiles popularly known as the trident, and the missiles known by the name of Kapala and Kankana. The wonder of it, however, was that Vashishta, a son of Brahma, neutralized them all by means of his staff alone. The aforesaid missiles having been rendered ineffectual, Vishwamitra discharged Brahmastra, a missile presided over by Brahma, the creator. The gods, with the god of fire as their leader, the celestial sages and Gandharvas, along with eminent Nags, were struck with awe to see that missile ready for being hurled. Nay, all the three worlds were alarmed when the said missile presided over by Brahma was fully discharged. Vashishta, however, neutralized even that exceptionally terrible Brahmastra in its entirety, including all its limbs, by his Brahmanical staff, combined with the Brahmanical spiritual glory, O scion of Raghu. While the mighty Vashishta was consuming the Brahmastra, he assumed a most violent and fierce aspect that stupefied all the three worlds. From all the pores of skin of the high-souled Vashishta shot forth like as many rays, tongues of fire enveloped in smoke, the smoke issuing from the extinguished Brahmastra. Even the Brahmanical staff raised in the hands of Vashishta blazed forth like the smokeless fire of universal destruction, or like a second rod of Yam, the god of punishment. Thereupon, hosts of sages glorified as follows: Vashishta, the foremost of ascetics, unfailing is your might, O Holy One. Quench the fire of your person as well as of the Brahmanical staff by your own glory. The very mighty Vishwamitra has been tamed by you, O holy Brahman. Your powers knows no failure, O noblest soul. Let the worlds be rid of their agony. Prayed to in these words, the exceptionally glorious and mighty Vashishta regained his natural calm, and heaving a deep sigh, the worsted Vishwamitra spoke as follows: Reproachful is the might of a Kshatriya, even so, the strength proceeding from the glory of a Brahman is real strength. All my missiles stand neutralized by a single Brahmanical staff. Clearly perceiving this superiority of Brahmanical glory, therefore I shall with my senses and mind purified undertake severe austerities that will enable me to attain Brahmanhood in this very life. Thus ends Canto 56 in the Balakand of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. Now we come to Canto 57. It is about Vishwamitra again, and his story continues. Vishwamitra embarks on a severe course of austerities with a view to attaining Brahmanhood. In the meantime, King Trishanku of Ayodhya requests Vashishta to conduct for him a sacrifice which may enable him to bodily ascend to heaven, and on Vashishta declining to comply with his request, approaches his sons for the same purpose. Now, sighing deeply again and again, his heart being distressed at the thought of his discomfiture at the hands of Vashishta, the celebrated Vishwamitra, who had made enemies with an exalted soul like Vashishta, then proceeded to the southern quarter with his principal queen and embarked as a great ascetic on a course of most severe austerities, O scion of Raghu. Living on fruits and roots alone, and with his mind and senses fully controlled, he practiced austerities of a high order. Immediately after his commencing the course of his austerities, were born to him 4 sons, devoted to truthfulness and virtue: Havishpanda, Madhushpanda, Dradhanetra, and Maharatha by name. On the completion of 1,000 years, Brahma, the progenitor of universe, actually appeared and addressed the following sweet words to Vishwamitra, who was rich in asceticism. The worlds attained by royal sages have been won by you through ascesis, O son of Kushika, Gadi. Through these ascesis, we undoubtedly recognize you as a royal sage. Saying so, the exceptionally glorious Brahma, the suzerain lord of all worlds, returned along with the gods that have accompanied him to paradise, Indra's heaven, en route to Brahmalok, the highest heaven, his own realm. Filled with a great agony to hear the aforesaid compliment, and with his face downcast a bit through shame, Vishwamitra too spoke to himself in a mood of dejection as follows: Even though most severe austerities have been practiced by me, all the gods, including the hosts of rishis, recognize me only as a royal sage and not as a Brahman, as desired by me. I, therefore, think that Brahmanhood is not the reward for my austerities. Something more is required for attaining the status of a Brahmana. Having concluded thus in his mind, the great ascetic Vishwamitra whose mind was given to piety, O scion of Kakushtha, and who was of great restraint, commenced his austerities anew. At this very time, a king who heightened the glory of Ikshvaku's race and was widely known by the name of Trishanku, nay, who ever spoke the truth and had fully controlled his senses, took it into his head, O scion of Raghu, to undertake a sacrifice and thereby ascend bodily to paradise, the highest realm of gods. Summoning Vashishta, he revealed his mind to him. He was, however, told by the mighty Vashish that it was not possible to conduct such a sacrifice. Repulsed by Vashishta, he proceeded to the southern quarter. For the accomplishment of the said purpose, the king then sought Vashishta's son at the place where they were actually leading an austere life, engaged as they were in a prolonged course of austerities. The exceptionally glorious Trishanku beheld from a distance the 100 high-minded and supremely resplendent sons of Vashishta practicing austerities. Approaching and greeting in order of seniority all the high-souled sons of Vashishta, his family preceptor, with his face downcast a bit through shame on his having been repulsed by his preceptor, he submitted with folded hands to all those exalted souls as follows: though resorted to by others as a protector, I have sought you as my refuge, capable as you are of affording protection to others. May God bless you. Though refused by the high-souled Vashishta, your father, I am still desirous of performing a great sacrifice with the object of bodily ascending to heaven. Be pleased, therefore, to grant me leave to do so. Saluting all my preceptor's son, I thereby seek your favor and fallen prostrate, touching the ground with my head. I implore the Brahmins in your person devoted to austerities. As such, may you help me with a concentrated mind in performing a sacrifice for the accomplishment of my purpose, so that I may attain to the realm of gods in my embodied state. Having been repulsed by Vashishta, O sages, rich in asceticism, I do not find any resort other than you all, the sons of my preceptors. The family priest, in the person of Vashishta, indeed has been the supreme resort to all the scions of Ikshvaku. Next to him, you all are deity to me. Thus ends Canto 57 in the Balakand of the glorious Ramayan of Valmiki, the work of a rishi and the oldest epic. So, कल फिर मिलेंगे. जय श्री राम.